started. Let's go.
Hello, welcome into the Farmers Union pregame show. As always, I'm Ken Oda. Kobe Brault alongside, and it's finally time for the playoffs, Kobe.
I mean, you said it best there, Ken. Playoff time, the most wonderful time of the year. And the good news, Toro's the 1 seed in the Central, getting to host Game 1 of Round 1. It's going to be a very, very fun weekend, very fun night to get things kicked off.
Yeah, I think the season is a very long season. It's a 9-month season. Guys got here in late August. Here we are now in mid to late April, getting ready for a playoff. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but really you look back at it and the showcase feels like it was forever ago.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that we've been talking about all season, pretty much since the showcase, is the opportunity to get to the playoffs and what a difference a year makes. This time last year, on the last weekend of the year, the Toros sneak into the playoffs as the 4 seed, ended up facing the number 1 Austin Bruins at the time. Now, roles completely reversed. Minotauros win the Central Division for the first time since 2018 and are the 1 seed going up against the 4 Austin Bruins.
Yeah, and a similar story for the Bruins, right? They clinched their playoff spot last Friday night, just like the Toros clinched their playoff spot on the Friday last year. Went in, lost the next game, and dropped from what would have been a 3 seed to the 4 seed and have to face the number 1. Now the Toros are hoping to flip the script all of the way around and sweep the Bruins, but it starts with Game 1 here tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, this season series has been somewhat back and forth, a little bit more lopsided towards the Toros. We'll get to that in a minute. We got to highlight this regular season as a whole, though, Ken. Got to, close the chapter of the regular season as the new season starts tonight. But this Toros team, I mean, the list of accomplishments is about a mile long.
Yeah, I talked about it on the bench last Saturday night, just thanking the Toro fans. They were a huge part of it as well. Record attendance here at the Mesa. But this team, most wins, most points, most goals scored, fewest goals allowed. By any measure, as a team, the best team in franchise history.
Yeah, and then you start to look at individual, Trevor Stachowiak, career points, career games played, both records set during this season. Colby Volk now has the record for season goals by a defenseman. The previous record was 10. He has 18 this year, Ken. I mean, unbelievable. Career goals by a defenseman now has the record at 21 with, the potential to have another year as a Toro. And then also season points by a defenseman with 39. You can't say enough about the D-men. And another guy that jumps off the page, Weston Knox, plus 30 on the regular season.
31, actually.
31, yes. Yeah. And video game numbers by these guys, and you can't say enough about them.
Yeah, Adam Mahler as well. Not technically the record yet because he still has another year of eligibility, but right now he's sitting at plus 53. For his career as a Toro, that's the best of any player to wear the cream and cardinal. Jake Diddle was plus 51 over his 3 seasons, so as long as Adam Mahler comes back and doesn't go -3 next year, Adam Mahler will set that franchise mark as well. But enough about the regular season. It's time for the Dental Care Associates playoffs.
Yeah, and it is a loaded bracket all the way around. Every division has must-see matchups. The 2-3 matchup in the Central, obviously, Toros are the 1 versus Austin the 4. The 2-3, Bismarck and Aberdeen, 2 hated rivals. Yep. That's going to be a series that I could see going 5 games, honestly.
It should be a good one as well. Also, you look at some of the other divisions, teams all fighting to get to the Robertson Cup in Blaine, Minnesota, just 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, whatever it is. Anchorage in Minnesota, that's a crazy one with travel having to go up to Alaska. And then, of course, the Battle of Wisconsin, the Janesville Jets and the Wisconsin Wendigo. You got to be rooting for your old hometown team.
Yeah, always rooting for the Jets, unless they're playing the Toros, obviously. But, yeah, that should be a great series. Former Toro Max Martin led the league in points for the Wendigo. He's had a great season over there. The South is always an absolute battle. Lone Star in New Mexico. It was just a few years ago that Lone Star was in a similar position here, number 1 overall seed in the entire tournament, and got upset by those New Mexico Ice Wolves. And then Shreveport and El Paso, the furthest El Paso has ever made it in the North American Hockey League, made it out of the play-in round, and now have a date with the Mudbugs, one of the rowdiest places to play in the North American Hockey League.
Not just that, but Shreveport always has playoff success. They've been to the Robbie Cup tournament in their short history, I think, 3 or 4 times. So, they're the 2 seed, but they might be the favorite to come out of the South just because of that playoff experience. And then out east, Maryland and New Jersey, Maine versus Rochester, an expansion team gets in. Maine's been doing a ton to grow their fan base. A good playoff series would certainly help that. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the divisions play out.
Yeah, and I mean, most games are on the Friday, Saturday, but some Eastern time zone puck drops, some Alaska time zone puck drops. So definitely some games you can flip around to on NATV throughout this weekend.
That'll bring us back to Minot and the Noodles numbers. Toros went 9-3-0 against Austin, which of course means Austin went 3-9-0 against the Toros this year. Goals per game in the head-to-head series, Toros 3.42 to Austin's 1.66. Really, by any measure, except for maybe the shots per game in the head-to-head, the Toros dominated this series.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to point out, Ken, and we'll get to it with our keys to the game in a little bit, but those power play numbers. Austin had 20 goals against the Toros total on the season. 7 of those came on the power play, whereas Minot still with a higher percentage, 12 for 59, that's 20.3%, created 7 more power play opportunities for themselves, translated that to 5 more goals than the Bruins. So definitely something to watch, the special teams and who's going to be able to stay out of the box.
That'll bring us to our Minotauros Booster Club players to watch. I'm going to go with Colby Volk. You talked about the season he's had 18 goals. Well, 7 of those came against Austin this year. He's been a driving force for the Toros offense against the Bruins.
Yeah, can't say enough about Colby Volk on both ends of the ice. My player to watch tonight, I'm going John Emmons. John Emmons, just 9 goals on the season, but 5 of them against the Austin Bruins. He was a key piece of the Toros last season, the team that ended up getting swept by the Bruins out of the playoffs. I'm sure he does not forget about that at all. He had that last-second buzzer beater in Austin a few months ago, and I mean, he's a guy that's built for the moment. He's had that goal that I just referenced. He had the OT winner in St. Cloud, and he set up Nick Zwiecki on that OT winner in Bismarck as well, a guy that's built for the moment.
Yeah, and Emmons, as you mentioned, a guy who was on last year's team that suffered the loss to the Bruins. His former line mate, Hunter Longy, sent a message to the group text of Toros just saying, hey, remember what these guys did to us last year. So I'm sure some extra motivation for Jemmer.
Yeah, and you start to think about the depth of this team, and when it comes to the playoffs, that's really what it's all about. And we've talked about that depth at length. There's so many guys that have stepped up at times throughout this season, and the Toros are going to need it from everybody. That's what the playoffs are all about, the next man up mentality, and that's the Toros way for sure.
That'll bring us to our home key group keys to the game. I'll kick it off with, I think Toros need to score first. Looking overall, I went through 120 box scores last night prepping for this. The Toros 29-2-0 when they score first, just 15-12-2 when they don't. Still a winning record, but a bit more of a toss-up there. Conversely, Austin 25-8-2 when they score first. When they give up the first goal, just 6-17-2. So I think getting off to a good start and getting the first goal of the game will be huge for the Toros tonight.
Yeah, and it'd be huge for the momentum as well. Obviously, a lot of nerves coming into this. Like we've been saying, the Toros haven't forgot what the Bruins did to them last year, and so to get that first goal and to get this place rocking early will be a huge key for sure, Ken.
Second key to the game, the home crowd. We talk about starts in this building, the importance of getting that first goal. Also, when this place is packed, getting that crowd going, I think is another huge way for the Toros to get some extra energy. Yeah,
21-8-1 at home this season. Just a great season here at the Pepsi. Great crowds all year long. And I know these fans are going to bring it tonight, Ken, and be that extra skater for the Toros for sure.
And the final home key to the game would be discipline. You hinted at it earlier. Bruins power play 13.4% against the Toros, 7 of their 20 goals. But also, this group, that power play against the Toros did a little bit better than everyone else's power play, about a point better. Not a huge difference, but Toros penalty kill finished at about 88%. So, the Bruins power play better than other power plays against the Toros.
Yeah, and discipline, you always can talk about discipline when you're talking about facing the Austin Bruins. They love to, put the game in the refs' hands. Obviously a big crowd. You hope that the refs are built for the moment just like the players are. And, it should be a great series. Don't take anything away from Austin. They just play a very, very physical game, so discipline will be huge tonight.
Also, in the playoffs, the league switches to the 4-man crews full-time, so 2 referees, 2 linesmen. So some of that stuff that happens behind the play that maybe you could get away with before, a little less likely to get away with now with the extra official on the ice. That'll bring us to our Forebears Casino and Lodge over-unders. Kobe, you can play along. Fans, you can too in the Toros Hockey mobile app. A chance to win a $250 stay-and-play package from our friends at Forebears Casino and Lodge. The first one, we've talked about the importance. Toros' first period goals. I set it at 0.5.
I am going to take the over on that, Ken. Like we said, stress the importance of it. I think they understand the importance of it, and they're going to come out buzzing and attack early.
Toros' total goals, 3.5.
I'm going to go with the over on this one as well, Ken. I think these guys are going to come out and flex their muscle. Number 2 overall seed in this tournament, and there's a reason for that, right? Obviously, regular season's over, but I think they're going to come out and make a statement tonight. I'm taking that over.
And then the final one, total Toros goalie saves, 29.5. The Bruins averaged 26.6 shots per game against the Toros this year.
I'm going to go with the over on that as well. 3 for 3 on the overs. I think there's going to be a lot of shots. It's going to be a back-and-forth game tonight, so give me the over on that as well.
Last one for you. Who is the Toros' all-time leading scorer against the Austin Bruins? That's your McDonald's trivia question. Options, Walker, Trevor Stahowiak, Nick Armstrong Kincaid, or Jaden Martin.
I'm gonna go with Johnny Walker. I know he had a lot of success against the Bruins back in the day, so give me Johnny Walker.
All right. Well, you can get your guess in the Toros Hockey mobile app under the interactive tab. A chance to win a free lunch from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's. That will do it for the Farmers Union pregame show. It's playoff time. We'll turn you over to Josh for tonight's introductions.